Oh, yeah. Shout out to Ron Oliver. That's good. Yeah. Getting a little bit funky this morning. Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So I hope everybody's having a great day. It is Taco Tuesday, but not only that, it is practice number 2 in pads for the Dallas Cowboys. They'll be practicing today. Then tomorrow will be an off day. Then they're back on the practice field on Thursday. So hopefully, knock on wood, we can try and stay healthy. Now, yesterday, we saw a bunch of different things. Like we saw that Sam Williams has hurt his shoulder. No word yet on how severe that shoulder injury is. We had Tyron Smith have his feelings hurt yesterday by Micah Parsons, who looks the part of being a grown-ass man and an absolute positive beast on the field. Micah Parsons is so damn good. I mean, damn good. He is literally a beast. You know, remember, sometimes you see things happen, and you've seen, like, I don't know if you remember years ago, DeMarco Murray trucking an Eagle defensive lineman. Sometimes it's leverage in these things that happen, you know, where you see a guy just get flipped on over, and it's because, you know, maybe their feet weren't planted or the balance was off and things like that, and it looks worse than what it really is. But when you saw Micah Parsons take that 49er offensive lineman tackle and literally just take him and just, that was not leverage. That was just pure strength. And now Micah Parsons has put on more weight and more strength, and he is ready to rock and roll. He is literally on a tear. That is a man who has got fire in his eyes, and he is literally ready to rock and roll. He is ready to get this season on, and good luck offensive linemen going against him. Now for us, speaking of offensive linemen, this is now 1 week into Zack Martin's holdout, and at the moment, it doesn't seem to be any end in sight. I had said to myself that maybe, just maybe, that by Wednesday that Zack Martin would be back in, and it looks like maybe I'm wrong. Right now, it's $350,000. Let me say it again. $350,000 in fines that are non-refundable for Zack Martin. I don't know where this all goes, but we've got to get this thing squared away. Now, here, of course, is the problem. You've got Jerry Jones, who is trying to toe the line, and I understand in some regards, you have to look at both sides of the equation here. Jerry Jones looks at it and says, you know, Zack Martin is getting older, which is true. He is getting older. And they don't want to be in a situation where they're paying top dollar for a guy who might be going downhill. The Cowboys have made too many mistakes on that front. The Cowboys have actually been in a unique position where a lot of teams don't have the luxury that the Cowboys have had, where their top picks end up being great players. A lot of teams don't have that issue. A lot of teams, guys, just, aren't getting their second contracts. The Cowboys, when you start looking at this and saying, Micah Parsons, the guy they drafted, generational talent, you know you got to pay him. Trayvon Diggs, great cornerback, regardless of what they say with the talking heads. Of course, you got to pay him. CeeDee Lamb, you know. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb. Philly 500 was right. He was right about CeeDee Lamb. He was wrong about Justin Jefferson. But you got to pay that guy. Of course, you know, you're looking down the road, and maybe Mozzie Smith's another one of those guys. We keep drafting cornerstone pieces that deserve to be paid. And so Jerry's looking at the longevity. He doesn't want to go all in for one season and then end up being like where the Rams are right now, or Tampa Bay, where they got that Super Bowl. Oh, God. I wish we had that problem that we got the Super Bowl and we were bad for a couple of years. But he doesn't want it to be that case. So that's where Jerry Jones is, of course, trying to be judicial with the money. Now, here's the thing. There's a problem, there's a solution to your problems here. And of course, everything takes risks. I know that with the Cowboys, it's almost comical because I don't see highlights from practice from other teams. Have you? Have you seen pass plays from other players on the field? I really have seen very few. We see, come 4 o'clock today, we're going to see Dak to CD. We're going to see Dak to Brandon Cooks. We're going to see Dak to Deuce Vaughn. We're going to see Micah Parsons throwing people left and right. We're going to see Mozzie Smith, going against, Tyron Smith and things like that. And the thing is y'all need to relax. It's practice. It's practice, guys. We got people going crazy because they're talking about Dak Prescott still throwing interceptions. Well, I hate to tell you, interceptions happen throughout the NFL, especially in practice. And people are going crazy because they said, Mozzie Smith got blocked by Tyron Smith. And I was kind of like, why was Mozzie outside where Tyron Smith was blocking him? That should have been Biotish. And so I started thinking, was he playing like a scout team role? Oh, because playing defensive end isn't what he does. But we have been so micromanaged on every move that the Cowboys make. It's just insane. Now, I want to talk about, I want to go to Get Up this morning because they're talking about Dak Prescott and whether or not the Cowboys believe in him and what they should do as far as his contract. Here's the thing. The Eagles, after one great season by Jalen Hurts, and Eagles, unlike you guys, I can say and give credit to people on the other team. Jalen Hurts had a great season last year. Be it he didn't have some help. He had some great talent around him. They added pieces to make sure he's successful. And that's the smart thing to do. On the Cowboys, we took people away from our quarterback. But be that as it may, they had faith in him to say, we're going to go ahead and go all in with that guy. We're going to make his cap number as low as possible, and we're going to try and put as much talent around him as we can. We have some Cowboy fans that'll say, oh no, just pay Dak Prescott $59 next year and then let him walk. Of course, because they have another solution. Cooper Rush is our backup quarterback and Will Greer, so we're good. We just go ahead, we just get rid of the quarterback. But what the Cowboys honestly need to do is, they need to get Dak Prescott's deal done. They need to go ahead, pay him, and extend him. Extend him as far as possible. Get his cap number low and get these guys under contract and ready to roll. So let's take a listen. All right, so the conversation is, do the Cowboys actually trust Dak Prescott? And should they pay him?
Dak obviously is the elephant in the room. Everyone knows it. We've just got to keep grinding. And Jerry has always told me, as a mentor of mine, as the money gets bigger, the deals get harder. Obviously, when we're talking about Dak, it's as big as it gets in the NFL. So it's got to be right for Dak, and it's got to be right for us. It's a zero-sum game for Jerry and I. We're just dividing up cap space. Whatever we do here is just a matter of how much we want to allocate to one player. This is a piece of a conversation that we've been having a lot here lately. And Damian Woody, I know you were watching and reacting on Twitter as we were having this conversation yesterday. The notion of taking that much money and allocating it to any one position, even the quarterback position, do you have concerns about it?
No, I mean, as a player, that's not my concern. My concern as a player is to do my job and do it to the best of my ability. Yep. Go out there and earn what I feel like was what I've earned as far as compensation is concerned. It's the team's job to figure out the cap, procure talent, and develop that talent. Really, yep. Like I heard the conversation yesterday about the percentage of cap, but as a player, that's not my responsibility.
The percentage of the cap.
A lesser deal, then that's a choice that I made. But if I'm out here doing the best that I can, why shouldn't I ask for a contract that's equal to what I should be making? That just makes no sense to me.
Well, let me make sure that we're having one conversation here. No one, and certainly not I, am suggesting that Dak Prescott or anyone shouldn't ask for whatever it is they want. But at the end of the day, you're worth what someone is willing to pay you. So put yourself, I totally understand that you have a player's mentality because you're a player. But put yourself on the other side. If you were the person divvying up this salary cap, as Stephen Jones is talking about, would you give all that money to a quarterback knowing that you are on some level robbing from Peter to pay Paul?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the Dallas Cowboys probably honestly haven't paid Dak the type of money that Dak wants to play because they don't believe that he's that type of player. I don't think the Cowboys think that Dak Prescott is a top 5 type quarterback, a quarterback that can put a franchise on his back. If they believe that, they would have been paid Dak Prescott last year. Okay, so listen, Dak Prescott has gotten better and better every year. He feels like he deserves a certain amount of money. The Dallas Cowboys quite clearly feels the opposite. And I think they just don't feel like Dak Prescott, in their minds, is that elite quarterback that we see from some of these other guys.
I have a quarterback ready to join this conversation, and as Tim Hasselbeck, we say good morning.
Interesting conversation, isn't it?
Tim,
should the Cowboys, do the Cowboys believe it?
Maybe the place the Cowboys already got this all wrong was a long time ago. How does that make sense?
Well, when you look at it, they waited till Dak Prescott had his best season and then had leverage because his contract was expiring to redo this deal.
You see what I did here, right?
How do you try to redo the deal after year 3, much like you've seen with other quarterbacks? And Dak Prescott at that point had never thrown more than 23 touchdowns, had never thrown for 4,000 yards. Try to do the deal then when he only had $2.75 million in his pocket in terms of career earnings. Rather than waiting, being up against the franchise tag, and oh, by the way, Dak just goes on and throws 30 touchdowns and for nearly 5,000 yards. So by waiting, they screwed it up. And the longer they wait, they could screw it up even more. Because if they
between
keep
2016 and
waiting,
19 was $4 million.
Mahomes gets a deal done.
38.
That number's only going to go up. But the reality is Dak is going to get 4 years. $150 million. If it's a 5-year deal, it could be close to $190 million. Those are going to be the numbers for Dak Prescott, and they're more than they would have been had they done a deal prior to last season.
Yeah, and to be clear, let's remember he was in the same draft.
There's the thing. This is deja vu.
Deal has been redone. Carson Wentz, whose deal has been redone. Those teams didn't wait. They got the contracts done. Let me talk to my former Cowboy here, and that's Bobby Carpenter, because the Cowboys, what further makes this confusing is that they've chosen to pay so many other people. They had a lot of people waiting in line, and they left the quarterback for last.
Yeah, they did make him wait for last, and I think, like Tim's point, they
didn't realize that was Bobby Carpenter.
Out of one of those elite high-level deals, and unfortunately for Dallas, or even
talk about a bust.
He played himself into it at a high level.
Talk about a bust. The only good game he had was when he was with the Lions and had a couple interceptions and a comeback victory for him. He was the number 18 pick, and he was ass for us. Completely lost as a linebacker. But be that as it may, I play this clip because this is deja vu for the Dallas Cowboys. They waited and they waited. I remember when Kirk Cousins got traded from the Commanders to Minnesota and signed his deal, I said they need to hurry up and get Dak Prescott's deal done before Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson at the time went out to $35 million. Had the Cowboys gotten that deal done, they would have been under $30 million for the contract he's on right now. But they're still waiting. The longer you wait, the numbers go up. Now, here's the funny thing about this whole situation is, as we go through and we listen to the conversation there, this is one of those Dak-isms that they have, and they only use for Dak Prescott. When it came time to pay Dak Prescott, we now started talking about the percentage of cap space allocated to one position. Right? That's what they're talking about. We're talking about allocating that kind of money to one position. Have you looked at some of the contracts lately? Have you looked at some of them? Lamar Jackson's, Deshaun Watson's, Justin Herbert's. They're allocated in that range. Remember when they used to say, if you pay a quarterback, you can't win the Super Bowl? That was another one of those things that, Dak Prescott got a second contract. It's too late. You can't win a Super Bowl. But here's the thing. For all those out there saying Dak Prescott is hamstringing them because of his contract, understand his first 4 years, he only made $4 million. You had 4 years that you did not pay the quarterback. If that was true, that Dak Prescott is the reason why you can't put talent on the field, then you had 4 years of time where you weren't paying anything. You had kickers making more money than Dak Prescott. That was the time that you should have been building and have built a juggernaut that's already won the Super Bowl. So the arguments that people make about Dak Prescott and his contract are bullshit. But the reality is right now, you go through, you get the extension put on there. You put the voidable years. You talk to Dak and say, this time, let's get a 5-year deal because this is going to be, your last Cowboys contract. We want to go ahead and surround you with more talent to help you win. Dak, you're the face of the Cowboys. Dak, you got all those extra ads and stuff like that. What you need, Dak, is if you get a Super Bowl here with us, like Micah Parsons says, I ain't got to ever worry about anything. I don't have to worry about anything. And if Dak does that, same thing. Now, say, Dak, we want to make this deal like you. We want you to be like Aaron Rodgers, like. We want you to try and work with us a little bit more, and we will continue to bring in more talent. We won't do the Amari Cooper thing to you where we'll get rid of Amari Cooper and Cedric Wilson. We will get more guys. We will do like the Eagles. Work with us. That is the solution to the Zack Martin situation and the Super Bowl. And there you go, guys. All right, I've got work to do. Got to go finish putting up the rails over here at my in-laws' house. Be back over here at the red brick house, and I've got to decide if I'm going back tonight or if I'm going to go back tomorrow. I don't know. I might go back tomorrow morning. But I do know that my man Game Time will be coming down tomorrow evening, and Thursday we will be going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yeah, can't wait. All right, good people. I'll see you with any news on the Dallas Cowboys as they have practice number 2 in pads. Peace.